Watson along for the call in this one. Blake, Shu, Otoykin, Munn, Cox, B.A., Godfrey, Okiki, Ionis, Flores, Koo.
Okay, and now we'd like to welcome up the captain of the gold medal winning team, the Nova Scotia Celtics.
They're doing the medal presentation here for the Nova Scotia U19 gold medal winners. This one in women's action underway. Nova Scotia in the blue. We got both Nova Scotia teams here. My apologies. So we got a battle of Nova Scotia. Nova Scotia versus Nova Scotia here for the gold on the side of things. Things going wrong pretty quickly here on this championship Sunday. The Battle of Nova Scotia here. What a coincidence it was. This is how we sort of started the championship out. This is how it looks like it will wrap up as Gabby Shaw getting a start here this one. Swing out by God. So is Glasgow. Back out once again. The outside. So is Glasgow. Quick handoff. Join us on headsets. Busy time for you here. We're doing some medal presentations along the sideline. Games going on, so it's a busy spot right now in Windsor.
Yeah, finding some sandbags for our tent to try and keep it going.
Remember that interviewing McDougall yesterday, and he kind of predicted maybe this matchup, and it's come to fruition, and thinks that the U18 may be able to pull it away. We'll see if that comes to fruition or if it's going to be the U19 in this all Nova Scotia battle. Hilton Sure. Scotia U18 with a win a little bit earlier to start the day to punch their ticket here into this final. The win start to pick up again. In the middle. It goes as Nova Scotia here. Off two Nova Scotia teams on the battle. You gotta make sure this is
Oh, Mark, you guys have Mike. Just while there's a penalty, there's just two cars. So a Hyundai by the tennis court and a VW on the road by the back gate, both in no parking spots.
So just to decipher things, the U19 are there in the blue and the U18 in the gray. Scrum just a few minutes into this one, 5.5 gone. Just past 6 minutes gone. And the U19 gold medal. And the pick off there. Gabby Shaw picks it off. Gabby Shaw trying to go in, and Gabby Shaw will not be stopped. Gabby Shaw with the tries.
Good job, G-Shaw!
As you see, Hilton, that pass in right spot. 1, 2, gone. Gabby Shaw. Is the U18s in early lead. Sydney Thompson on to kick the conversion.
Some of these girls are gonna learn. Slide or not.
Wind maybe. Not the easiest of kicks, maybe not the long distance, but the fact that this is a very tricky win as she splits the uprights to make it 7-0. As we take a look at the Gabby Shaw pick and try for U18. And also look at some of the action that we've also has taken place. Well, I imagine while you were attending to some other duties, you've probably heard the lots of noise made. Gabby Shaw with the pick and went down all the way to score here.
Yes, I saw it. It was exciting to see whether she's going to be able to get caught. I saw some nice lines there by the U18 women. Unfortunate knock on, but.
That one was good. There was one down there that was held up.
7-0 for the 18s.
Yeah.
Yeah, scrum coming up. And
No, they're getting none.
Were we able to have a couple silvers for those kids?
No, there are 2 guys that weren't dressed. They should have got them. They're 26 guys. They can only try to dress 20.
you may be able to hear, the mics may be able to hear, they're still doing the medal presentation here for the
A great line by Ava Shearer.
Shearer. Still kept her balance. Off to Hilton. Ball up for grabs.
Both teams are going haymaker after haymaker here.
And of course, maybe folks tuning in just for the first time, these teams sort of started the championships on Thursday. And Nova Scotia U18 got down early but fought back. This time, turnabout is fair play as they have struck quick and lead the U19s. Ten and a half gone.
It's non-stop action here from when I get to come back and see my spot. It's all out attack. Huge hits.
Yeah. Well, that's what you have series, and you have like these 5-game series, 7-game series. This is just one game. It's like anything could happen in this one. You know,
That's a fantastic kick. I'd love to see that again if I could.
Rack it up, as old Jack Armstrong would say, baby.
Regardless, a fantastic result in the territory game. I say it seems like so far this game's only being played very close to each team's goal line. Rowan with a little pickup, recycle.
Back come blue the other way. Looking to try to get a quick strike. 7-0 and
Sorting out some numbers here again. I thank the teams for supplying them, but between the medal ceremonies and the players of the game, we're
it's a lot happening.
Yeah,
here.
going as fast as we can
just
today.
A little bit happening here.
We know many of these players from the weekend and from the benefit of them being Nova Scotian, but just in case there's anybody we don't, we'll make sure we get those numbers down properly. Brooke Alco set to throw in. And an interesting little setup. It'll pop down to another forward. Almost looked like they were setting a maul to draw in some attention. And a heavy hit, but now that's Ava Demings on the wrong side. Still able to roll away. Charlotte Hilton able to score in the corner.
Tie it up at 7.
Well, on the convert.
Yeah, well, yeah, I'm getting ahead of myself. It's long weekend.
Yeah, but yeah, non-stop action so far in this game. I feel like you can't get a breath in. Strong stiff arm and then good low body position, and U18's not able to prevent Charlotte from scoring.
Pretty much looking to be for the U18s the same lineup that they put onto the field this morning.
Just a bit to the left, but a very good strike by Char. Take our water for both teams halfway through the first half.
Oh, they earned it after that one. At a hectic pace to this one.
And the fine.
Just a brief announcement during the water break. We have 2 vehicles that are parked illegally. We do need to rectify this as soon as possible. A black Hyundai SUV parked on the roadway near towards the back gate. License plate EBA 688. E as in Edward, B as in Beta, A 688. Might be a P. Black VW parked near the tennis courts. SUV. License plate D as in David, D as in David 916. These are in the emergency egress, need to be moved. For emergency vehicles, you do have to address it if they can't be moved. Thank you.
Seeing Gabby Shaw's highlight here. Fran Asseron trying her hardest to chase her down. Rowan Gallagher giving pursuit and making the conversion as tough as they could. Rowan is a heavy hitter. And the kick will bounce, but not touched by anyone.
Lot going on as we're coming up to the 15-minute mark. The Battle of Nova Scotia. So this is kind of like after a long day, you could say, well, Nova Scotia's winning, but it's got a U18 versus a U19.
Yeah, it's certainly the going into the tournament's the goal of both teams, and then once they've ensured it's a Celtics final, then the competitive nature can flow. But they cheer each other hard all weekend, and then want to compete hard in these gold medal games. I think you can really see the U18s specifically, as we say, because they're all younger. It's a more of a step up for them than it is the 18s or the 19s, but the physicality seems to be improved from their first matchup, and they're sort of more adjusted to the level and the speed and the physicality already over 4 short days.
Yeah, as I was reminding some of the viewers, it was the 19s that get off early and scored, and this time it was the 18s, so it's they just seemed to need to get through that first 10 minutes on Thursday, and ever since then they found their stride.
Seeing some nice strong carries from Alice so far this game.
Hilton. Chase up. Heisler. Shearer.
A powerful leg drive, and Deja sort of has to resort to a backward somersault to get her down.
Kate McDonald. Lucy Spurge looking forward. Brooke Alco. Hilton
defense
met
by
immediately before she could make even a step.
Yeah, having the speed of somebody like Brownisha add to your defense, help our back row forwards go out and tackle backs, really adds to your defensive width.
Hilton again. Shearer. Abby Chisholm. Oh, on the sideline. I'm not sure how many, you have, medal presentations going on while games going on. Can it be distracting as an athlete? It's most likely probably no would be the answer, but it's a little different circumstances on a championship day where there's lots happening.
Yeah, I think maybe the people on the sideline, it's, for the the few minutes that it's happening, it's a distraction, and obviously all these players behind now, pictures of the family. But I think for the players on the field, it's pretty easy to zone in. You know, depending on the field, not all of them have running tracks like this, and you know, you could be in a situation where spectators are that close, or you know, lots of things to be going on. So I think athletes are generally pretty good at dialing in.
Tap a go, Charlotte Hilton. Gallagher.
It's a nice offload by Alice Dewey.
Shearer. Acerod. Rewarded. Try U19 women.
It's a very strong carry by Fran there. Lots to do when she caught it. Some fending to be done and driving people back. Able to get the ball grounded.
Ten unanswered points. 10 straight for the U19 Blues. After the quick strike here by Gabby Shaw by the U18s. They're looking to add. To bring it back to live action. Hilton. Conversion attempt is a bit of a worm burner, no good. So it keeps it a penalty kick difference. 10-7. Coming up to 20 minutes gone.
To be honest, I still have 2 more games to do. Like, I can't. Don't have it in me, but it worked out really well that I was right there with the med kit in my car right there.
Getting set for the restart here.
Changed. Are they in the
It's all Nova Scotia battle.
Oh, sweet. So I'm not going to the garage.
Little bobble, but it's gone backwards, says the referee.
Alice Dewey. Hilton. That's kicked. Get the touch. U18s, as I mentioned, with the first 7, 10 straight for the U19s. Line out just near the 22.
Got to be no time really more important than any other, but psychologically to get a chance for a score in before the half. Especially as we sort of saw in the Nova Scotia-Newfoundland game, the wind, there's a favorable half to it.
So
Sid puts a lot of pressure on.
Kicking on the run. Abby Chisholm. Sent right back down.
As we see the wind sort of playing tricks on Maggie. But if Maggie can make Abby miss, there might be some real estate for her. No, Abby does a great job to stay involved.
Maggie Hellier just past the midfield stripe. Lucy Van Berkel. Willis Glasgow. Drag a couple of blue jerseys with her in the process.
U19's able to clear their lines. The U18 sort of running out of time in this half.
Steal by Acerod. Shearer, follow up. Quick hot potato passes. Shearer juking and jiving along that sideline.
Great leg drive from Fran after all those offloads.
And the knock on, so scrum to come, and as you said, you're nearing. Just like that, blows of the whistle to indicate that we have reached halftime in a very entertaining match.
What a final stay.
Final, exactly. So it's like the Battle of Nova Scotia. U18's off to a good start, but it's been 10 straight.
I think
10. Sorry. Well, yes, I'm trying to say the deficit.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, Jack Anratty presenting the medal said, look, the thing the region needs is more strong, close, competitive games, and
we got one.
Yeah, whether that comes against another province or against teams within your own province, these intense, competitive games are great for everybody involved.
All right, so we've got halftime here in Windsor, and we'll be back with more of an exciting matchup between the U19s and the U18s Nova Scotia at the 2025 U19 Senior Atlantic Rugby Championships on Maritime Athletic Profiles. Ready here for the second half of it's already been an entertaining and busy Sunday from Windsor.
You need to schedule more staff. No, I asked yesterday and you said no.
As you look at the U18s, off to a good start thanks to like a
I don't want to film them. Thank you for asking.
pick by Gabby Shaw.
Yeah. I don't mind that.
And she took it back the other way. And then quick strikes. 10 straight for U19s have us where we stand. It's just a penalty kick difference and the willingness, and it will definitely not go the full 10. So scrum here. Start this second half. Big Tess Raymond down looking for some support. And it finally comes. Macy Loveless. Sosa, she's brought down. Nova Scotia U19, they're on the move again. Brooke Alco. Tough taking. Willis Glasgow trying to come strip it off her. Can't. Hilton. Georgia Rain Kane. With the release. Hilton. Chisholm. Swing to the other side. Loveless. U18's trying to go for her steal, and they have been successful in the steal process. Willis Glasgow. That's Sophia Black getting that handoff. Sydney Thompson. Justin Roberts down for the release. A full warning. Willis Glasgow. Stella Feeney. Feeney across the 10.
Tackling getting a little bit high. People are able to start to
Oh, the battle of the ones
bit.
there as Feeney ran into Georgia Rain Cade. Willis Glasgow gets to the
finds some
outside.
space.
Willis Glasgow, 3 defenders, and the rest of the field caught up.
Justin not satisfied that Georgia retreated to an onside position before she went for that turnover. And Brownish is going to keep the pressure on. Great tackle by Alice Dewey.
Yeah, and as we see, Willis Glasgow going up tempo on the opposition penalty. U19's going up. The seesaw back and forth contest between the two Nova Scotians. Kate McDonald. Hard pass there for Hilton. Shearer. A little stiff arm. Abby Chisholm.
Abby Chisholm's doing some great work so far this game, being an effective link player, able to pass and distribute.
Tess Raymond has swung it over. Tess Raymond again. Alco, quick passes outside. Reed. Just shy of the 22. U19's on the march again. Alco.
It's good ball movement to Georgia Rain Kane.
Rain Kane. Hilton chip shot.
Yeah, we get a few bounces.
Shearer in there. Did she come up with it?
A very
Sure
athletic
does.
steal from Eva Shearer.
Hilton. Hilton trying to get away. Hilton dragged down just shy. Tess Raven. Abby Chisholm.
That's a great
Loveless.
stand defensively.
And the push there by Sosa. She got it down. Yes, she has.
So this is a very strong ball carrier.
Might be feeling the effects of that one as she's slow to get up. Short-term pain for long-term game. As we look at the replays. So 15 straight here for the Nova Scotia U19s. It's a little different look. We'll see Abby Chisholm here try to convert this. Just outside the right upright. And we'll keep it at a 8-point game for now. This is unsuccessful, 15-7. As they still continue to check in on Isosa. As my broadcast colleague Matt Watson has said, this has been a sort of back and forth seesaw affair between the two Nova Scotia teams. And almost like a different story. The script has been flipped. Because when we started on Thursday, it was the U19 really controlling the play, and then U18 coming back to make a game of it, and then U18 today with the early strike of 15 straight here by the U19s is a reset as we're back to live action from Kings Edge Hill on the ground in Windsor, Nova Scotia for the championship game to this second half. Burgalko. Let's go on. Tess Raymond with the quick handoff there out to Charlotte Hilton. Scoops it off the turf. Just near their own 10. Into the middle, Georgia Rain Kane. Nova Scotia want to be a verify. Nova Scotia U19 were trying to swing to the outside, didn't quite have the number, so that'll send it back to Hilton. We'll kick it back.
That's a great counterattack by Maggie Hellier, and she's been doing a great job under high balls and counterattacking all weekend.
Bringing it back into the Nova Scotia U19 side of the field. Steal by the U19s. Oh, tough sledding there.
A very strong carry by Sosa.
Seems to not be showing any ill effects as she got the try, but was slow. And as soon as I say that, she's down once again here for Nova Scotia U19s as play continues on.
That connection of Charlotte Hilton and Sam Reed and Abby Chisholm is doing lots of work for the Celtics as they look to get width in the play.
So in the books, it may not be classified as a person down for Nova Scotia U19. They technically are, as they are still attending to a Sosa just near the midfield stripe. This play is blown down. And some substitutions here for U18. Marley Laviolette will check in. Neil McClure. Sosa's gone off on her own wind. And we have ourselves a water break on this warm day from Windsor. Last I looked, the humidex was over 30, temperature right around 28, 27 degrees. Some clouds have moved in, so that's sort of made it feel a little bit more cooler than it actually is. As we'll get ready for play to restart. Scrummed, as you see, just outside the U18 10. Willis Glasgow outside Hillier. Gabby Shaw, almost similar to what we saw when she picked it off. Got a good 20 meters on that, and Nova Scotia U19 penalty. Lucy Van Berkel with the Kick into touch. U18's on the move. Looking here to at least, with the try, bring it down to a penalty kick game and maybe the conversion to get closer to this. It's coming to the 33rd minute. So just about 10 minutes gone here in the second half. A line out, success. So there's difficulty handling that, so that's caused the knock on. So 33 minutes into this scrum coming up, and wind starting to pick up here at King's Edge Hill. It's been one of those tricky winds. Sometimes it's blowing, sometimes it's not, and then sometimes it'll go from sideline to sideline. Other times it'll go end to end, so it's made the kicks not as easy as they could be. And the U18s, Demings, slight push off, numbers to the outside for a little bit too high of a pass.
Strong work by Fran near the touch line.
Yeah, Fran Acheron.
It's great work by Isla to keep her feet and get back in field. Don't know if the offload was needed. May have been able to just keep the momentum, but obviously the end result is that U18s are able to bundle Fran into touch.
Great camera work down there.
Strong work by Isla.
By our Maritime Athletic Profiles crew. Get you smartly Lavio that. Thank you very much, says Tess Raymond. Charlotte Hilton. Ball in the middle. Once again, the U19 sort of bid but don't break for the meantime. Hilton boots it up.
Testing Maggie Hillier again.
Hillier.
She's up for the challenge.
Hillier up the gut with it. Hillier into U19 territory.
That was a very impressive carry.
Lavio that going nowhere that time.
Georgia Rancane's a fantastic tackler as a prop. The ability to lunge and dive and cover ground is so valuable in a prop.
Bounce pass. Ava Demings opts for it to bounce to Rogier.
Gabby Shaw gonna look to get up
Gabby
to speed.
Shaw looks to be a pull of the hair, WWE style.
See if the referee's gonna have a chat here or just
yellow card awarded pretty much instantly.
just did it sort of to the group, so we'll see who makes their way over to actually serve that yellow card. I believe that's Michaela Heisler, number 11, who just went off to go the long way around to get off the field to play. We'll confirm as she makes her way over to the referee's desk.
So down by 8, but up a person, Nova Scotia. U18s. Hoping to maybe take advantage here of the try to climb back. They got the first 7, but it's 15 straights for U19s. A gold medal game. Tipped off the fingertips there by Willis Glasgow. Brooke Alco. Hilton. Fake to the outside, goes up the middle. Past the 10. Alco again quickly. Shearer. Shearer. Played her high school ball here, so knows this field very well. Tess Raymond, Hilton. Sosa with difficulty. Plays blown down.
Sort of a messy little bit of play there while the
Yeah.
U19s had the ball. The U18s managed to knock it on.
So scrum between the 10 and the 22. Down to field level, let's listen in on Justin Robert. Hilton, Aceron into the 22.
Athletic move to release the ball, get back to their feet, and play it.
Calls her own number, as they say. Pass was behind. U18 penalty. Options for U19. And Hilton easily kicked in the touch. It's a two-score game right now. Looking to make it 3 is Nova Scotia U19. Elko to inbound. Well, as Glasgow tried to
There
go
is
for
the
the
same
tip.
little line-out move, but this time they do form the maul.
Loveless. Alco. Nova Scotia just U19 just try to edge it closer and closer to that try line to get it down. Small strides. Alco again. She's Kate McDowell, my apologies. And Nova Scotia U19 penalized, so.
Some discussion as to who will handle the kicking for touch duties.
Yep. Yeah,
William Mason coming in. Kate McDonald giving way.
In the meantime, Heisler back on, so even strikes. With less than 4 to go.
Sam Reed, a fantastic line-out operator, as we've said, and a good strong steal. Nice work from Alice Stewie.
Brooke Alco. Sam Reed.
Great work at the breakdown by Georgia Rain Kane.
Runs into a wall. Mason there. Shreds her off just like she's a fly.
Yeah, Amelia Mason, another very strong runner to bring in off the bench as people are tired.
Abby Chisholm handled it on the run. And it's rewarded. Try 5 for Nova Scotia U19. Charlotte Hilton.
Zipping around on that little bug.
20 straight points by the U19s. So we take a look at the previous score. like Abby Chisholm was going, and then the handoff, and they got it out. Charlotte Hilton to the outside to put it down. And now she has a chance to add more to her points collection for the weekend. As she's asked to convert her own try. Kick up. And good. 22-7.
Yeah, the
Around that
U18s really
43rd
needed
mark.
to come away with a score there to keep things close and in the realm of possibility, but now they'll be playing to get as close as possible. Look to go get up there and turn over possession. Hydration specialist Meg Bentz hard at work, injured member of the U19 team, but still involved. Been a great supporter all weekend.
And it's filled in for commentating with you.
Yeah, just give me a couple games off. Appreciate that, Meg.
Georgia Raid Cade.
Great ruck by Brooke Alco.
Turning into like a clinic and injury.
Unfortunately, looks like Lucy Van Berkel may have been injured on that play.
And immediately blown down. Allow us to take a look at what we've seen and what's happened and transpired. The live action as the medical staff has assisted Lucy Van Berkel off the pitch for the meantime and made her way to be checked out.
She does seem to be up and moving around okay. Just anybody watching it knows Lucy.
I heard a lot from him in this championship game. It's been sent it down to Justin Roberts maybe less than one final time between these two classic organizations from Nova Scotia, U19 and U18. U19 penalty, the tap and go. Marley Laviolette.
Spilled the ball, but looks like Brownisha was able to scoop it up, and the U18s are going to look for this one final score.
Lewis. Tough sledding. Picked up Ainsley Lewis. Tough going there, but slowly making their way down the pitch is this swing over to Gunn, Amy Gunn. Little difficulty, Demings. And the knock on. And the 3 blows of the whistle. After an early scare by the U18s, the Nova Scotia U19 with 22 straight points to come away with a victory 22-7.
Yeah, fantastic showing by this U19 team all weekend. Again, this is some of the best players we've had come through in recent times in Nova Scotia and coming through in their final year of underage Celtics. Resilient and congratulations to all those players, and congratulations to the U18 team to come away with silver medals and all the learning and growing that they've done this week. Excited to see where all these players, how they go on and perform in the coming months.
Yeah, so the team's handshake. We're going to be getting ready for our next one between New Brunswick and Alberta. And we'll be back to wrap in just a couple of seconds. Field level from the 2025 U19 Senior Atlantic Rugby Championships here on Maritime Athletic Profiles.